Hello students, I hope you are all well. Okay, now we will study chapter number 3, that is fiber to fabrics. Okay, in previous class you have studied this chapter, fiber to fabrics, but in that chapter you have studied only plant fibers. In this chapter we will discuss about animal fiber, that is wool and silk. Okay, now wool is obtained from the fleece of wool yielding animals such as sheep, goat, camel, etc. Okay, the word fleece here is known as the hairs of the animals. Okay, the fleece is known as the hair of wool yielding animals. There are two types of fleece generally we get from the animal, that is the coarse hair. Coarse hair means the texture, when we touch the hair it feels rough. Okay, and the second one is we get soft and fine under hair. There are two qualities of fleeces. Okay, you can see the first picture, it is of wool. Okay, then silk is also obtained from animal, that is called silk moth. Silk fiber is very soft and smooth to touch. As you can see in the picture, the second picture is of silk. It is very smooth and it is shiny. Okay, wool is obtained from the fleece of animals, as you know. So why these animals have thick fleece or thick fur over their body? Because the fleece traps the air between them, and air is a poor conductor of heat, so they keep the animal warm during winter season. Okay, so we have discussed that wool are of two types, that is coarse, which is rough in texture, and it is the another one is fine and soft in texture. Okay, so to get very fine hair or very fine fleece from the sheep, parents with good quality of fleece are selected and they are breeded. When the newborn baby is born, it possesses the same characteristic of the parents. So this kind of breeding is known as selective breeding. Okay, now you can see in the picture, this part of the sheep, it generate coarse fleece. Okay, and the another remaining part of the sheep, it generate very fine and soft fleece. Okay students, now we will talk about wool yielding animals. As you know, there are many breeds of sheep in India. Okay, the fleece of the sheep is not only the source of wool. There are many other animals, as you can see in the pictures, that is goat, camel, alpaca and llama. These are the breeds of another kind of goat which are found in America. Okay, now India, the common is Angora goat, which is generally found in the regions of Jammu and Kashmir. The wool obtained from this goat is used to make pashmina shawls. It is very hot because the fleece of this goat is traps air and is very warm. Now students, we will talk about how fibers are converted into wool. Okay, so there are basically 6 steps for the conversion of fiber into the wool. So first step is shearing. In this process, the fleece or the hair of the sheep is removed or shaved by machine, similar which a barber shop has to cut hairs. So the process of removing the fleece from the body of sheep is known as shearing. Shear is generally done in summer season. This also helps the sheep to survive the warm climate. Shearing also does not hurt the sheep, as there is a layer of dead skin, so it does not hurt the sheep while cutting the fleece. The hair of the sheep grows again time to time. Okay, now we will come to second step, that is scoring. The removed fleece is second step is washed to remove the dirt, dust, grease, etc. from it. Okay, the fleece is washed in a tank or it is washed in the machine. As you can see in the first picture, the fleece of the animals is washed in hot water to remove the dirt and excess of dust in from it. Then the third step comes, that is sorting. The washed fleece is then sent to the factories to separate good texture and good qualities of fleece for another uses. Okay, this process of separation of fleece of good and medium quality is known as sorting. In the second picture you can see there are 3 blocks made and there are different kind of fleece. Different quality of fleece are kept in different forms. Okay, then the fourth step comes, that is removing burrs. There are some small balls of fiber get rolled called as burrs. It is the same that happens on your sweater after washing. You have might be seen that after washing your sweaters there are small woolen balls which appear on the sweater. That balls are known as burrs. So in this step, burrs are removed and scoring is done again. Means after removing burrs, the fleece is again washed. You can see in the third picture there is small ball like structure that are known as burrs. Children, the fifth step is dyeing. After removing burrs and after the scoring of fleece, the wool is being colored. Okay, this process of coloring the wool is known as dyeing. As you can see in the first picture, the white fleece of the sheep is converted into blue color. We get the fleece from the sheep in white color, brown color, or maybe it be black. So many types of colors are done on the wool. This process of coloring the wool is known as dyeing. The next step is, sixth step is spinning. After dyeing or coloring, the fibers are spun with the help of machines to make yarn. As you know, yarn is a thread. So the longer yarn are made into wool rolls, which is used for making sweaters, and the shorter yarns are spun directly into the woolen cloth. Now the second picture you can see is the machine. It is a spinning machine. Okay, so the yarn is made, or the balls of woolen is made. Okay students, now we'll come to the silk part. We'll study life cycle of silk moth. Okay, silk is also animal fiber, as you know, and silk is produced by an insect. It is called as silk moth. So the rearing of silk moth for obtaining silk is known as sericulture. You can see the definition. The rearing of silk moth for obtaining silk is known as sericulture. We'll study the steps in what happened that. So the female silk moth lays hundreds of eggs on the leaf, and from these eggs larva hatches. We can call it as silkworm or caterpillar. This caterpillar grows in size by eating leaves of plants and enter it to the next stage. The next stage is known as pupa. Okay, the pupa weaves a net to hold itself, just like a spider. Spider webs around itself to hang. So the pupa also weaves a net to hold itself, and after that it secretes fiber from its mouth. Okay, it secretes the fiber from its mouth and swing its head in the form of figure 8. Okay, so after swinging the heads, the pupa or the caterpillar covers fully itself into the protective shell, which is made up of protein fiber. It is known as cocoon, from which silk fiber is obtained. Okay, so you can see in the diagram, there is eggs. The female silk moth lay eggs, then from the egg the larva hatches, or it is known as caterpillar, or it can be also known as silkworm. Then after the silkworm becomes large, it secretes protein from its mouth and spin its head in the form of 8 like this, and cover itself in a hard covering. It is known as cocoon. You can see the diagram of cocoon here. Okay, after the cocoon is matured, inside that the silk moth is born. So this is the life cycle of silk moth. Children, now we'll see how silk is extracted from the cocoons. Okay, after laying eggs, we have saw in the previous slide that after laying eggs, caterpillar is hatched and it feeds on the mulberry leaves. Okay, after 25 to 30 days, they stop eating and develops a cocoon around themselves. Cocoon is made up of protein secreted by their mouth. Okay, if the cocoon is not processed, then after few days the pupa inside the cocoon develops into the silk moth, and it breaks the cocoon to come out and breaks the fiber also, which get destroyed. Okay, so processing of silk, in this step, some piles of cocoon, some groups of cocoon are taken and dried in sunlight or boiled in water, so that the silk moth inside the cocoon dies and does not break the cocoon and does not destroy the silk fiber. Then the silk fiber is obtained and taken out from the cocoon by reeling process. So the process of removing silk from the cocoon is known as reeling of silk. You can see the definition. The process of removing silk thread from the cocoon is known as reeling of silk. Okay, you can see in the diagram, there is a group of cocoon kept under the boiling water. So this boiling water kills the silk moth inside the cocoon, and the silk moth does not break the cocoon, and the silk fiber does not get destroyed, and we can extract the silk from the cocoon. I hope students you have understood the slides well, and stay home, stay safe and study well. Thank you.